explain what it means.
Don't you dare, Andrew.
Oh my God, he's an animal.
It's not. Now it's on your mic. It was on
Andrew,
your shirt.
just you explain instead of asking us.
I don't have to do what he says.
I know.
It's so silly.
What does that mean? Wives, submit yourself unto your husband as unto the Lord. The problem is that you just got what's called a false gospel. It's why women shouldn't teach ever. She's teaching mutual submission. She's teaching mutual submission. There's nothing about mutual submission. Wives, submit yourself unto your husbands as unto the Lord. Who is the Lord? That is God. You're supposed to submit yourself unto your husbands as you would unto God. This is not mutual submission.
This is unproductive.
You should have let me move. You should have let me move it on. You should have let me move it on.
No one
I
cares.
told you.
Next question.
Hold on. So I got to move it on. Okay. So.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay.
Please don't.
Going to you. I'll get into your notes. I know you've had a lot to say. Serena, we'll finally wrap this up. Do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years or?
Whoa! Oh my God!
She never got to answer that.
What is it? 2 hours later, and we're still.
Wait, how's it? Why is that funny?
It's just 3 hours later.
She didn't answer. She didn't get to
never got
answer.
to
I know.
answer.
Hey, I got a good memory.
Okay, I'll answer straight to the point.
Yeah.
10 years? Sure. 41, kind of reaching it. 51, not so much. Metabolism
Okay.
slowing down.
Yeah.
Wrinkles, yes.
So wait,
Okay, there you go.
31, yes, better looking than now at 21. 41, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay. And then what about you? Better looking?
Better
at 64?
looking. No, of course not. But
then-
I'll still be beautiful.
Sure. Yeah, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah, but no, not better looking.
You
No,
can
it goes.
You can still be
it's-
good looking.
life is life.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And then
I would
okay with
like
that.
I would like an answer to my question.
No,
or
thank
you can
you.
just say I refuse to answer the question. What do you think wives submit yourself unto your own husbands
I'm
as
not
unto
speaking
the
to
Lord
that
means?
anymore.
she just said she's
I
not
already
speaking to
said
it, so I
that
do
you
have to
can
move it on.
explain.
I'm not going to talk to you anymore because you're correcting my theology.
I said what I said.
I'm going to
and
preach
you
a
can
false
say what
heretical
you think.
doctrine.
You can say what you think. You can't get me.
Well,
to-
I think you're a heretic, and I want you to
Okay,
answer
wait.
to my question.
Oh my God.
Stop being a heretic and answer.
Heretic
No, I've
accusation.
got pretty hair though.
Shit.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Woman preachers,
wait.
gay marriage, all this stuff.
Wait.
I would like you
Whatever.
to
All
right,
actually
let's
answer.
not get into it.
Whatever. We're on the whatever show.
So,
She never answered the question either.
question though, were you better looking at 44 versus 54?
No.
So better
No,
looking
I think
when you were
I think I
young.
was better looking younger.
Okay, got it.
But I think I peaked at around 30.
We did it, boys. We made it.
We did it.
I'm just gonna skip
Yes.
Oh, did I? Time permitting, we'll talk about, I guess, why it matters because you wanted to know that. But I'll give you the quick rundown. Nick, pull up the hypergamy chart super quick. I'm going to do the 30-second version of this. Here is the 30-second version. Okay, this is hypergamy. And so on the left is whom men would happily partner with. On the right, whom women would happily partner with. So what ends up happening if you have a cohort of women who overestimate their physical attractiveness and their attractiveness in general in the dating marketplace, they're going to be chasing after men who are, not to be mean to these women, who are quite frankly out of their league. And so what ends up happening, especially with the hookup culture that we have, is women have sexual access to men who are out of their league. But you can't really say the same thing about men. Like if a man steps to a woman who's outside of his league, he's going to get an instant rejection. Like if I step to a really attractive girl, I'm getting an instant rejection. She's not going to consider me for even a casual hookup. Whereas men, if we encounter a woman who we deem as, and objectively, let's say objectively is deemed as less attractive than us, we'll still consider her for short-term sex, right? So what ends up happening is women of a certain attractiveness level can get sex from men outside of their league. What ends up happening is women will think that because I can get sex from this guy, he's X amount of attractive, that's now my league. But they'll never get commitment. This is where women just get continuously in these situationships. They never get commitment. All these fuck boys, they start to actually resent men. And so because of that, they'll actually look at men who are on their level or in their league as settling or below them, even though those are the men who are probably most likely to treat them well and give them commitment and monogamy. In addition to that, one of the major factors and differentials here is that, so as a guy, if I can sleep with a girl, there's a very high probability that I can get that girl into a long-term monogamous relationship. It's not clear to me if, as a woman, just because you can fuck a guy, you can get him into a relationship. So that's a major differential there. I'm not saying, like, look, some women engage in hookups and they have no intention of getting into a relationship. But the big thing here is, again, I'll just state it one more time. So as a guy, if I can sleep with a girl, very good chance I could get her into a relationship. But if you sleep with a guy, it's not a guarantee that you can get him into a relationship. And so for this reason, it's actually more important that women have a reasonable self-assessment of their own physical attractiveness in the dating marketplace. Otherwise, they're going to be chasing men who are, quite frankly, out of their league, and they're going to end up just either, jumping from guy to guy to guy, never getting commitment, constantly stuck in situationships. And then they're going to eventually, maybe down the road after they've had their fun in their 20s, they'll find a guy in their 30s and then settle with him. And it's probably not going to be a great relationship because she thinks she's settling. She could have done better. She's going to be pining over one or two or three guys in her 20s who are much more attractive, fucked her better, whatever it may be. So that's why it matters.
Can I respond?
Sure.
So I would say that it would be more about your values when you equal up to a person, because wouldn't it have to do with, like, if this person values this, we don't agree on the same values, then we're not gonna match up. So if I don't value something that ends up being a long-term thing, then I'm not gonna end up in that place with that person. I think wouldn't it have to do with values at the end of the day?
So you're fucking men that you don't have the same values or whatever?
Yeah, if you're not in the same, if you don't have the same values, but they don't have the same values as you, it's not going to work out.
Or maybe people have, like, the wrong intentions going into it, or think they may have the same intentions, but after certain encounters, maybe it just changes.
Have you guys had the experience of you sleep with a guy and you really want him to be your boyfriend, but he says something along the lines of, I'm not ready yet. Or he strings you along for a couple months, continues to fuck you, and then it just kind of eventually fizzles away into nothing. Have you had that experience?
So what do you think that is? What does that attribute to then?
That's you having sex with men who aren't willing to commit to you.
So what would that be, though? Like, wouldn't that be their values? Like, your values, they're not equaling up.
Right, but what I'm saying is that what that could be is that you're sleeping with men who are out of your league because you're attracted to them.
I think that's just one theory. I don't know if that's not like a proven thing.
Okay, who's more, I'll just ask you the question. If a guy can sleep with a girl, do you think he has an easier time getting her in a relationship than the reverse?
I would say that's probably true, because a lot of women look more for relationships to begin with. So I think that's true in that sense. I think men, especially when they're younger, aren't necessarily looking for a relationship like that. So I'd say yeah.
Okay.
I think it just would depend on what both of the values are. Like
I'm
how
not
they
sure
equal
I'm
up.
Totally following. On the whole.
Does anyone else want to respond to that?
I'm not sure I'm
Statement?
following on the values thing.
Okay.
So what's the argument, I guess?
Like, I don't think it's necessarily about.
Okay, here, let me ask it a different way. If you sleep with a guy, how confident are you that you can get him into a relationship if you sleep with him within the first 3 dates?
I don't even know if I wouldn't say anything type of confidence. I don't even know how to answer that question, because I think it's more like it's like deeper than that, right? Because then you don't know Depends on how much we know each other. We don't know like what our values are, how they align. Like I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay.